that's the type of stuff that I like to be around, the type of minds that I like to be around. I mean, how can you really look at your life normal now after seeing something like that? I mean, you guys, we really can change the world no matter what industry you're in. And so thank you, Andrew, for making this possible. Mike, Hive, Faith, anyone and everyone that's involved. I'm here today to talk about mindfulness, right? And its impact and what does it even mean to me? What can it mean for you and whatnot? And I feel like truth can only be told from the inside out. So I like to use my own life as an example. I want to get up here and regurgitate some words I read in a book or, the YouTube documentary that's on now. I want to tell you about what it means to me and how it can affect you. With Faith Foundation every Saturday, the ministry that I have built over the years, people online, people YouTube, Instagram, I'm always constantly pouring out. Everything I'm doing is a part of who I've become, but meditation, being mindful, has completely changed my life. And what I want you to understand is being mindful isn't about you never getting mad or upset or just being this big blob of emotionless energy. No, it means that you're about 2 thoughts ahead of every action because your mind is on the macro. I mean, if you're trying to change the world, like how stressful is that girl not calling you back, or that person that cut you off at the light, or your favorite coffee place not having your favorite coffee, or your favorite shirt all of a sudden having a hole in it, and your roommate acting like he don't know what's going on. He don't know how. I mean, you get what I'm telling you. If your mind is full of the things that it fills your heart, my brother Chuck, how often or how able are you to get off track? And as I look back over my life, I was realizing a lot of my losses were coming because I was giving power to the wrong things. I'm 20-something back then, without a wife, without kids. I really should have had no stress. But I was worshiping the things that were really bringing me down. And I wasn't mindful of the things that could really keep me up. And I thought I knew, but it wasn't until I went away that I realized it's that time with yourself. It's that process that you give yourself every day to leave Monday's bullshit in Monday, because Tuesday needs you a little bit better. And Wednesday, you're going to be up for a fight, but you don't even know it yet, right? It's that ability to listen to someone as they're speaking to you and be so in tune with their spirit, you forget that you were waiting for someone to text you back. Because maybe that person has something to offer you that can change the next 10 years. It's about people like us having the mindset to change the world. 1 billion people ain't enough. That don't scare me. That guy was scared to answer that. There's 7 billion people in the world. I want them all to be better by the time I die. But it's the ability to stay emotionally, spiritually, psychologically connected to those goals, to that initiative, so that you can get through this crazy place called LA, tell you on day 121, and not become crazy yourself. Right? Right? So you can put your mission right here in your heart and protect it. Being mindful just means protecting what it is that moves you through your life, through your actions. So I ask you, where are you giving your time and attention, and how is it affecting you? More books, less TV, more conversations, less texting, more patience, more love. Mindfulness means being mindful of you, filling your mind with the things that empower you, and living your life accordingly. There's only so many things I care about in life. God, of course, being number one, but the things under that haven't changed, and they won't change. So I'm here in LA on a mission. I'm on day 121. I protect every day with my actions. I protect my mind with my actions. I protect the things that you get from me right now with my actions, but I do it on purpose. What are you doing on purpose daily? And how is it affecting what you want to do for the world? A more mindful person, a more mindful CEO, a more mindful entrepreneur, a more mindful venture capitalist is going to have a calmer head, more collected thoughts. Is going to be able to do what they want to do in a more positive way. Meditation doesn't mean going to the Himalayas with a yogi man with orange pants. It simply means maybe every day for 30 days, you start the day with 3 minutes of your own thoughts. It might mean every time you feel yourself getting moved in a way you don't like, instead of winding up your fist, you count to 10. Or it might just mean you living in LA means you go to the beach every Sunday and you just sit. Everyone has their own way of doing it, but give yourself time to catch up, because the work that you have in front of you is that important. Keep your mind on the macro and protect it with your life. Being mindful makes you more powerful. I want to leave you with this. I'm a newly published author. My book is called The Journey. It's so fitting. I'm still on mine. I don't have all the answers. But 10 years as an entrepreneur, whoo, you learn some things. You get a steel chin. My intestinal fortitude, you can't break me now. For those of you that want that structure, for those of you that want maybe just that little bit of guidance into whatever you're going after, I would definitely encourage you to check it out. It's on Amazon. My name is Corey Taylor. It's called The Journey. We are all on one. And allow this conversation to impact your behavior, because a decision is more powerful than an emotion. So if you feel a certain way, let's leave here and do differently. Thank you for receiving.
Q&A with Corey. Oh, okay. Yeah, we're gonna do a little Q&A for Corey. If you guys have any questions, just I'll start off first.
Thank you.
So, brother, sometimes I wake up, I'm in my joyous state. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, everything's just happening, manifesting. Midas touch. But then I have those days where I'm really not, feeling it, and I'm like, man, is my mind playing tricks on me? What's going on? What advice do you have?
And I have those days too, and those days are really the most important, because those days are actually the most revealing, because you have a foundation, my brother, that keeps you who I see every day. You have a foundation that keeps you the person that I met when I first got here, and we met, I think it was on, had to be on Skid Row, doing the, mentorship. Your foundation, whatever makes you you, at some point in time has to be revisited. So it's not a bad thing if you wake up and you aren't yourself. You just need to what? Pour back in. Because some of you are probably constantly giving. And then sometimes we give so much we start giving from a glass half empty. On those days, I just remind myself to fill me so I can give again from my overflow. So it's okay to feel that, but again, answer that with action. Look at what makes you peaceful, what makes you light, what makes you impactful, and spend that day getting back to that. Even the most strongest and durable battery at some point has to be recharged. So hey, you just telling me we're one and the same, baby.
Sweet. Thank you, brother.
Vegas, talk to me.
Yeah, man. I think everyone has a dark side. Everyone has their own demons that they got to deal with. So, what was your journey in dealing with those demons, and how did you do that?
Man, to be honest, personally, the isolation made me come face to face with my afflictions. The things that were either going to block me as I grew into a man, or empower me to where it couldn't harm me. And that was years. That was years. I'm OCD, I'm very, very, very particular about certain things. So I had to spend years really just allowing myself to understand how it was hurting me. I say one thing that maybe people can relate to. I used to be the type of person that, I think my mom taught me this. Like if somebody had a problem with me, I couldn't let it just go. I would almost rehearse, man, I should have said this, or if they were here right now, this is what I would do, or I would make it almost about me and overcoming it versus just looking at life as just what it is. And it would keep me up at night, and I would give myself anxiety about it, and I would just feel like I needed to fix it. And I had to realize, first of all, I had to get deep, and I said, my mom taught me to overthink and worry, because as a single parent, she did a lot of that, and I thought that that's how you handle stress. And once I realized that was becoming harmful, because now I'm in a place where I'm leading people, and this client might not even be feeling that way. She might be going through something completely different. And now I'm coming to her with some energy, like she did something to me, when in reality, I need to have empathy, because she might need me to be there. So I had to explore myself in my ways, and I had to take all the time I needed to get to that point. And I advise that for any of my clients. You need to really master yourself, before you're trying to master this world. Because the people that are going to pull from you, they need that 100%. They don't need the 60% version of yourself. They need that 100. So my advice to you, man, or anyone, is take the time needed. There's no rush in life. Nothing in nature is rushed. Yet everything comes out perfect. Take as much time as you need to explore, and then when you do, write a book about it. And that might be somebody else's Bible, For sure. Anybody else? Come on. I love to talk. My man Will, talk to them.
So what's next for Corey Taylor? I see you've done a lot, come a long way. What's next for you?
This is next. This room. The agendas that fill this room, the passion. This is why I came to California. No offense, Charlie, we don't got this in the A. There's no meetup about world-changing things. There's no top 10 issues, how we're going to attack it type of thing. So what's next for me is me using my platform and my gifts and strengths and aligning it with similar minds to attack. Because I just turned 30. So I know I got a good 10 more years of this, what I'm saying, before I start to slow down. But that's what I want to do. I want to pour into the things that are going to pull the most from me, you know, and as long as they line up with my virtues, I feel like I can always grow from those types of environments, you know. Yeah. Good. All right, good. All right.
Anybody else? Or y'all nervous to ask a question?
No.
Question. You know, my man's right here, man, from the Faith Foundation. They're with you the long way, man. Yeah. You know, but I mean, being that you come from the struggle, or you being from the bottom, I mean, how do you keep yourself empowered and like, I mean, as they say, what is it? What is that saying? What makes you break you? What does it make you break you? Or
Yeah, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Well, all right, yeah, the same.
I mean, the how is answered in that mantra. Like, I can't fake the strength in the self that I have. I can't fake the confidence that I have. It's only because I've been through the fire and I stayed in it long enough to realize it hurts, but it don't burn me. And you grow from that. A lot of people, they get to that point and they hunker down.
Yeah.
They feel like they can't take it. And maybe that's because they've never been to that point. Or maybe they got people around them that always break at that point. But as soon as I realized I could cross that threshold, really when I found God, you understand what I'm saying? And I started giving him the big shit. And I was like, no, I'm just gonna handle my little small business. I'm gonna let you figure out, you know what I'm saying, how my mom's gonna pay the Sprint bill, you know, and how my car's gonna get from Nashville. I'm gonna let, when I started giving him the big problem and I started focusing on things I could control, and when I got really good at perseverance, because you're not gonna get good at fighting unless you what? Fight, right? It changed it all. So I mean, I encourage struggle. To be honest, I feel I've learned more from struggle than success. I think success is, it can happen. It can happen to the wrong people. It can happen at the wrong time. It can happen. But struggle defines you, right? No matter how old you are, how much you make, struggle will take what you are and it'll make you more of it. You feel me? So that's how, and that's why, it's because going through that made me a man, you know?
So you found the fuel within the struggle.
Within it, man. I didn't know it was in there. You know, I thought I knew. Thought I had understood. But looking back, I didn't. It wasn't until no one was around to validate me. No one was around to pour into me. No one was there to even care. That I said, well, man, is this what I have to go through to get where I am? And I started looking, I'm deep. I started looking at 7 generations back. I'm like, man, every person in my family had at some point had to do this. My grandfather had to do, he had to put the family on his back in like the 50s and make a choice. My mom, back in the 80s, you know, had me and decided to move. So I was like, well, shit, maybe this is my rite of passage. Maybe without this, I'll never be able to write my narrative. Maybe I'll never be able to say I am who I think I am. And I think a lot of us can get to that point in life where you have the choice. Like, is this really going to be what makes you, or is this going to be another loss you take? And I chose to say, nah, I'm going to do it. And if I live, I'll live to tell the story. And year after year, it's gotten to where, man, gray clouds just don't scare me anymore. You know, so keep going into your storms with a pen and pad, willing to learn from it. And that's what's going to give you that armor. You know what I'm saying?
Walking with that faith.
Yeah, man. For sure. Yeah, baby.
I was gonna ask, what is your, like, what makes you uncomfortable, and if it doesn't make you uncomfortable, and like what scares you?
Oh, I mean, what makes me uncomfortable? Doubts. But it makes me uncomfortable in a way that, you know, I'll give you a good example. I do things to challenge fear. Because courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the ability to acknowledge it and move past it. So I do, and look, like, I'm a practitioner. I don't just know quotes. Like, I literally, okay, that's what you said 100 years ago. I'm going to see if it's true today. So, you know, like, I went cliff diving in Jamaica, in Kingston, and, like, that shit was scary. You know, and after all the things I've done in my life, I'm just like, yo, I still get that feeling. Like, I'm not a lion yet. So I was like, well, I got to do it. Because I can't go back to the States any lesser. So for me, you know, being doubtful or fearful, that still occurs, but I want to get good at overcoming it, so I actually go towards things that pull it out of me. Another great example, for those of you that don't know, I did a documentary on A&E last year called Fit the Fat to Fit, and I gained 60 pounds of fat the hard way. I binged every day. I was on a 10,000 calorie intake diet. Yeah, if you know calories, you know that's a lot. Michael Phelps, and man, right? So I was gaining 5 pounds a week for 4 months. Body fat went from like 13 to 51%. I was at like 199. My last weigh-in 4 months later was 263. That scared me to death. Because first of all, I didn't care about the TV. I was like, yo, I'm gonna lose my body. People gonna stop believing in me. How am I gonna do this? But the fact that all that trepidation was there, I was like, well, maybe I can learn something from it. Maybe I'm not as deep as I think I am. Maybe there's some ego left, you know. And I did that process. You can check it out online or TV. And of course, I lost the weight, and I helped my client lose weight, which was the ultimate goal. But you know, doing things like that sharpen the tools. Because if you can overcome it enough, you might start overcoming things that will stop most people. You know, standing up in front of this room for some who have the exact same passion as me, it might scare them, which is not okay because there might be something they can give that the person in this room aren't getting. So, you know, you got to put your ego aside and keep testing fear. And I swear to God, I mean, it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. Maybe one day it won't be there, but it's still a journey, you know? For sure.